Hey, 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 back again in the round of 32 with the CiC Qualifiers here. Got SynC Esports taking on Slaughterers, not Slaughterers, but Slaughters. Interesting. But regardless of their names, perhaps a bit of a disadvantage here due to the star power on the Legion side of this game, and hopefully they will be able to hold their own for a while, but I think there's a pretty clear favorite. And, you know, upsets are possible. You never know. Maybe you do. This is a replay cast of a game that happened a while ago, so, yeah. It's not really point in pretending too much crazy stuff happens. Anyway, Moon Queen, Puppet Master, Kronos, and Tempest are the bands. Sorry, I missed a gloss right over him. But Flamesmeister clearly targeting these hard carries here. It's like, yeah, heroes that I might play. Let's get rid of those. Hellborn removing Tempest and Kronos, so the strong jungler in Tempest and the commonly seen suicide in Mr. Kronos are both removed, and Keizu and Zlapt will be a little bit worse off now that those two heroes are out of the pool. But nothing particularly crazy about any of those bans. All heroes we see quite often, and all heroes that deserve their place in either the first tier of bans, the first tier of picks. So, moving on to the first picking stage, we got Rhapsody and Drunken Master getting picked up here. So obviously Rhapsody, a higher tier support, a hero we see very, very often. No problems picking her up early. Same thing with Benzington on the Hellborn side and Drunken Master for the third pick. So three heroes here that really are absolutely, you know, deserving of their places as high tier picks. So off to a good start are both drafters, and we'll see what they choose to, where they choose to go from here. A little obviously hard to predict as we're not too deep in the draft, but, and of course Hellborn, we don't know what their double playstyle is. Do they like to run junglers? Do they like to run second supports? SynC, maybe 50-50. Zlap will be on the jungler versus the support hero, and Kindman here as the former. He used to be on a team with Biver, I think. He was on some team that I forget, and this is going to frustrate the crap out of me if I don't look it up. So I'm going to do that. He was on TCOG, yes, with Panny and various other people. I think Insania was in Team NK, but yeah, Team Kage. He was a former member, and they look at the tag is right frickin' there, so I should have known that. But Hellborn using pretty much all their extra time here, and they end up with the Bubbles pick. They only have 3 seconds left, so that's going to be a bit of an issue, and you might want to see Flensmeister hurry things up here a little bit to put some pressure on the opposing drafter. Not that they really need that much more of an advantage, but you take an edge where you can get one, just to make sure you don't get knocked off, especially because these are best of ones, so there's really no room to mess around in any of these games. It's, if you don't win, then you're, you know, not moving forward, and that could be a bit of a problem, especially for a team like SynC that is expected to do very well. Pretty clear the number 2 team in Han right now, and the third pick, the Devourer, so that'll be in Mickey's hands. Almost, doesn't really guarantee, but it suggests that Drunken Master will be a suicide here. Flensmeister could certainly play it as well, but I think I'd lean suicide here for the DM, considering they have the mid-initiator type role locked up with the Devo selection. Kraken will be the Hellborn's third pick, as they really have 3 strong heroes here so far. Kraken, Bubbles, strong ulti synergy, same with Benzington for that matter. Really strong gank potential between all of them. The push isn't great, and the team and the late game isn't great, but they can probably add some stuff to complement that. Kraken's certainly a decent late game hero. Benzington and Bubbles, in my opinion, tend to fall off a little bit. They're not as great as the game goes on, Bubbles especially, but they're not really built to be that. Benzington obviously built to be a hero that wins his suicide lane, which is weird, and Bubbles is more of an early to mid-game aggressive gank-oriented hero. So we'll see what Hellborn chooses to go for from here, but it's very possible that they could go for a dual, and really, honestly, they need 2 supports, so it's going to be the Kraken as the hard carry, and I'm not a huge fan of that. I think he's not quite as hard a carry as you'd like. The only way that's going to work out for them is if they go for a mid-game oriented strat, but the Legion side can counter that just fine. Drunken Master and Devourer are both very strong mid-game heroes, and yeah, man, what's with Mac users? Stop using Macs, people. Just stop it. It's not a good idea. But Hellborn side perhaps lacking a little bit of late game here, lacking a bit of push potential. Legion side's push isn't that great, but at least they have a Rhapsody Dance Floor, and that will help them out. Their late games is substantially better with the DM, I think, being the hardest carry of this game so far, and they have the potential to add another hard carry if they so choose, and they can put that in Flensmeister's hands, have the Drunken Master Suicide, and things would work out just fine for them. So we'll see what they choose to go for, but Flensmeister's bans so far here are Parasite, Torturer, and Empath, so removing that other strong jungle option here. Ophelia seeing a lot less play recently as a result of changes to jungle. And obviously just a hard hero to play, especially if there's lower tier teams where they just might not have an Ophelia player. So Oph not as much of a threat as she would be in higher tier matches, and therefore left open as Parasite is removed. And 4 will be the 4th pick here for the Legion side, and they counted that with CiC, so that'll be interesting. Nymph obviously a strong hero as well, and almost certainly going to be paired with the Devour. I would hope it's going to be paired with the Devourer. Just the Nymphora Zeal plus the hook means spam hook, and you know, you hit 1 or 2 out of 4 or whatever, and that's a kill, which is really nice. Also, Zeal pairs well with the Rot or Decay or whatever. Decay, yeah, it's Decay in this game. So solid pick there. I'd like to see, I think, a short laner for the Rhapsody. We could also be seeing a tri-lane here. Nymphora not really a traditional tri-lane hero, so I lean against that, but it's always possible whenever you see a dual support lineup with a few stuns. You can never really rule that possibility out, but I'd like to see Flensmeister's hero here and have the Drunken Master go into Keizu's hands. Keizu, a very, very capable Drunken Master player, of course, so not a big deal there. Notable Hellborn band out, Dr. Repulsor, Soulstish, and Bushwhack, so removing one jungle option and a couple of short laners, presumably in potential for Flensmeister to have. And I think Flens is going to be playing that Panda, so it's likely we're going to see Keizu on the DM and Mickey on the Devourer. Mickey Devourer is very, very good, actually. If you haven't seen it for some reason, it's pretty fantastic. He's quite adept at landing hooks. Hellborn side here, looking for another support. We've got Glacius on the board still, Aluna, Pyromancer, Witch Slayer, Keeper of the Forest. So they will in fact go for the jungle route. And I like that. I think it's going to help them transition a little bit more into the late game. But it's still not a hero that you look at and you're like, yeah, this is going to be a great hero past 40 or 45 minutes. Especially considering the Legion side have more of that. You know, they have Panda, they've got Drunken. Those are 2 heroes that will transition well into the late game. Panda, not as much, but the Drunken definitely. And we're going to see a swap here, or is Flens going to be playing the Devourer? There we go. So, last second swap there between Mickey and Flens will be playing the Panda in the short lane, presumably with Rhapsody by his side. And then middle lane, hopefully, will be the Devourer Nymphora with Keizu as the Drunken Master in the Suicide lane. Hellborn here, guessing they're going to be sending the Benzington Suicide. That's pretty much the only thing that makes sense. Keeper of the Forest in the jungle, obviously. Probably a mid Bubbles and a top Kraken Cersei, as Kraken is pretty definitely going to be given that priority farm. And we'll see what they can do. This is like I said before, this is a very mid-game oriented lineup, but so is the Legion side. So I'm not sure if that's going to work out for them, because unless they have an absolutely fantastic laning phase, which considering they're up against SynC Esports is perhaps not the most likely thing to happen, it seems to me like it's probably not going to go super well for them in general. And once again, forgot to turn off this. Let's get paused. Keep doing this. So Mickey and the Devourer here will be leading the charge, and they're going to run to the opposing team. The tree will spot them out, though, so they know exactly what's going on up here. And Kraken, for some reason, is hanging out here. That's not going to go too well for him. He has the charge, but is he going to be able to do anything? Nope. Kraken's going to get sent by the Nymphora Zeals again, and he's going to die to the Bloodlust here. Heinemann, actually, on the Nymphora will pick that up. Flensmeister's taking a bunch of damage, but he's going to be able to get the hell out of there. Benzington getting to the Cannonball stun, and he's also going to drop, so ends up being a 2 for nothing. Heinemann and the Nymphora will fall here. Ends up being a 2 for 1 so far, but Keeper of the Forest is the next in line. Immobilize goes down. Not going to be able to stop Devourer's Decay, and that's going to be a death on Keeper of the Forest. Bubbles now the next target, as it looks like he's also going to fall. Here, actually, he takes the Cannonball stun, and there's that. Rhapsody off to the side looking to kill Cersei. She obviously does not have anything other than her Immobilize, and she's getting blocked off a little bit. Staccato stuns back up in 1 second, and she's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Zeal catches her out. And we have a 5-to-1 hero kill advantage here. 15 seconds into the game. So the entire Hellborn team has died. Nymphora lived and came back and ported top, but or Nymphora died, excuse me, and then came back and ported top. But yeah, that's a start, and they're gonna ward the crap out of this Keeper of the Forest. He has one camp to deal with, and that's not happy fun times for him. So it looks like actually going to see an aggressive Devourer Rhapsody here up top. And in the middle lane, it's going to be Drunken Master as the solo against Bubbles. Drunken Master should have a really good time here. As, you know, oh god, gets both pots knocked out actually. That was a pretty great shell surf there from Bubbles. Doesn't really matter, I don't think, too much. Drunken will have a bottle relatively soon, and he's tanky enough to be able to survive a lot of harass here from this Bubbles. So, Kaiser here, he also does have pooled regen, lots of pooled regen, so he should be mostly okay. Bottom lane here, Nymphora trying to box out this Sir Benzington, not doing the greatest job, missing the Zeal stun right there, but his job is basically to make sure that Flensmeister has Solar Free Farm down here, and that's pretty much what he's doing, so as long as Benzington gets backed off of the lane, then things are going pretty well. So a bit of a TMM strat here from the Legion side with the 2-1-2 lanes. But so far working pretty well for them. Obviously the 5 kills to start the game. Yeah, things are going pretty well in the early going. So at this point, I think if they lose, it's a massive, massive throw. Not only do they have the advantage of being up in terms of just pure skill, but they started the game with a 5-1 hero kill with a genocide essentially. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Bubbles going to jump onto Drunken Master, but Drunken Master is just going to try to run away here and should be alright. Bubbles taking a bit of tower damage there. Looking for the Shell Surf onto the side, has it up in 5 seconds, and Kaiser needs to be really careful about this before he drops 2-1. You're in trouble, buddy. And, oh, nice stagger away. As actually Bubbles gets off to the side. Keeper of the Forest is here, looking to cut him off, but Kaiser's just going to run. And he doesn't have boots, but he should still have plenty of ability to get away. So Kaiser's going to be pretty heavily pressured here in this middle lane. Will be forced back to base, but does not take the death, and that's the most important thing. Top lane here, Devour getting jumped by CiC and Kraken. Rhapsody is off grabbing a rune, so Dev could be in some trouble here. Puts the K down, trying to slow people down, but obviously can't deny himself, and he will drop there the last auto attack from CiC. So Hellborn side grabbing a good kill up there onto Mickey when he was abandoned by Zlapt. Because Zlapt is just mean like that. Lance along here looking for it, and the Cannonball stun after the flick. They're going to be able to stop the joust, but he's going to live through this and will be able to joust away. So Benzington should be just fine down here in this bottom lane. Takes a bunch of damage, but not the biggest deal. Obviously, Nymphora pretty useful as a lane partner for a high mana use hero without a high mana regen like Pandemonium. Really spammable abilities, but not sufficient. An insufficient mana pool and insufficient mana regen to effectively spam them, and that's why you had Nymphora. Up top, actually, Zlapt will help take out this Kraken as the Scatter Stuns go down on top of Devourer's Slow, and that's going to be a pretty easy kill. Dev taking a fair bit of damage here, and CiC working off to the side, trying to maybe do something, but does not have enough damage really to screw with this Devourer, I don't think. Yeah, Staccato Stuns are down there as well, and Rhapsody will back her off. Drunken Master in the middle lane will shoot Bubbles away. He will throw a Shell Surf down, but won't actually port to it up top. Actually, god damn it. CiC here does get hooked. Nice. Well done, Mickey. Tries to get away, but not going to be enough. Obviously, the Word of Reb going down there and will allow her to get spotted out. Notable, of course, the Keeper of the Forest did switch to the aggressive jungler, and absolutely the right decision as his woods were completely destroyed. Over here, Nymphora trying to box him out a little bit, but not being too effective here. He's only 153 gold per minute, so not having a great time no matter what, but anything more they can do to screw with him is apparently what is going to happen. Top lane hook misses there on the Kraken. And CiC will throw the Deceive down, but they can see here. There's the Staccatos on top of the K, and you're in some trouble, girl. Oh, man. I'm kind of surprised they did not continue to pursue that. Oh, it bounces. Bottom lane Flen's at 352 gold per minute here. Second highest farmer in the game to Mickey on that dev up top, thanks to all those kills they've been getting. But obviously here, nobody on Hellborn farming particularly well, 250 GPM or so on both Kraken and Bubbles. Actually, Benzington in the bottom lane at 200 GPM really isn't that bad, especially for a suicide. Also level 6, so having a decent enough time, I think, since that initial death has not fallen. Especially considering the stun potential of this lane, that's really impressive. Up top here, we're actually going to put the stuns down onto Kraken, looking to try to turn this onto somebody. Mickey's looking for the hook here, and that's the invis. Nice hook onto Kraken. He does not have the ability to get away there. Did not have the charge back up, so Mickey grabbing the hook there will get the kill. Actually, his lap gets the kill, but that's only because Mickey's bad, so. Hook there, not going to hit Cersei. Lane KZ obviously 350 gold per minute, so having a pretty solid time there. Everybody here on the Legion side, all three primary farmers are above 330 gold per minute. So all having a real good time. And foreign Benzington gonna go at it a little bit here. She's looking for something. Joust forward there. Lancelot, one more auto attack, and he's dead. And actually, that is the kill. Benzington looking for the Nightfall here, but can't get it off. Just the ultimate after everything. So much lockdown, and Benzington will fall. So ends up being 1 for 1. Not a terrible trade, especially considering really the Hellborn side need kills at this point. Okay, KZ trying to find Bubbles here, but won't find him. That's Benzington, man. That's why he's so annoying. Because he does that. He kills them supports. And if it wasn't for the fact that Panda is probably the best 1v1 lockdown hero in the game, that was likely a getaway as well, because he had the Nightfall up. And could have at least screwed with the Panda. Over here, Benzington will pour top hook, not quite gonna hit. That was so close. Benzington looking for an opening here. Immobilized from Cersei will miss. As I hate that spell, it's very difficult to land. So we'll see if they can do anything here. Word of Sight is Hellborn's. And Benzington, not really sure, I don't think, if he wants to stay in. Because he'd like you to kill her, but doesn't want to waste his time. Dev will grab the refreshment rune here. Obviously has his bottle, so looking for a gank as well on the middle lane, or maybe they're just transitioning. No. KZ checking bottom rune. It's not there. Bubbles, you're in some trouble, buddy. Benzington's still at the top lane looking for the gank, but obviously Mickey is middle now. And they wouldn't mind picking off Rhapsody either, but Zlap playing pretty far back. Making sure he's safe. KZ popping illusions here. Did they see Benzington? Not sure. So we're setting up for something interesting here. Keeper of the Forest also coming in off the side. Is level 6. Hook there, not going to hit Bubbles, so now they know where Mickey is. And they've got the setup here to go after him. Mobilize gets hit there. Keeper of the Forest route is available, but he gets jumped on Devour. He will get the route off. Nightfall is out here as well, but Keeper of the Forest, the first one to drop. Lap in here off to the side will also fall. Benzington trying to get out away. Cannot quite do so. Oh god, there's KZ with the last hit. Bubbles also falls to Mickey, and Cersei going to get chased down here by KZ on the Drunken Master here. Actually, Kraken off to the side. Drops the Blaze of Kraken onto Mickey, and Mickey's going to be in a lot of trouble. A couple more auto attacks, and he does fall. Drunken Master is the next, but Kraken now out of mana, and DM will be able to run away, so I believe it ends up being a 2 for 3 there, as the Legion side come out on top, and they also have to commit far fewer resources to it, as both Nymphora and Pandemonium were just basically free-farming bottom in the woods while that was happening. So you use 3 heroes, your opponents use 5 heroes, you get 3 kills, they get 2 kills. Obviously a very good trade. And the resource lead continues to grow here. 12 to 5 hero kill advantage for the Legion side, on top of the just over 6k experience lead and almost 4k, or 6k gold lead and almost 4k experience lead. Zlap to run into the middle once again, looking to set something up here into CiC. He's going to run right past the Rev Ward, so they know it's not there. Actually, Dust goes out as well. They're going to be able to catch her. Probably not. Drunken Master looks like she wants to go in and then doesn't. So, a bit unfortunate that CiC chose that path and went right into Zlat as opposed to being able to get set up on. But this will be a bit of a tower push here as the entire Legion side has convened, and we'll be pushing down this middle tower, so should be a pretty easy tower kill here at this point, and that will obviously open up a fair bit of map control for them, and they might not stop here, perhaps looking for a tier 2 as well as the tier 1. They're cutting Mickey into the woods here as far as they can. So he's actually going to be able to go all the way up the side and get a real nice position for a hook. So Glyph goes off as well, but they're looking for a secondary tower kill. No doubt. They might just get it. They will force a lot of ports as the Hellborn take down a top primary tower, and they're not going to get this just for free. Joust comes in on top of Shell Surf. Kelfield only hits on Panda, but the ultimate from Surya, actually she gets taken over. Keeper of the Forest ultimate goes off. They're going to get hit him in the background. Frozen Flame on that Surge, he dies first. Release Crack hit dropped onto a few. They're going to try to chase down Kaiser. He actually does fall on that Drunken Master. They're trying to get Bensington, but he dies. In the meantime, Keeper of the Forest gets locked down. Bubbles off to the side. Trying to go at with Mickey once again. Drops the Silence, and he's actually getting chased down here pretty well, and he will die. So the rest of his team really chasing down this Bensington for some reason. Cannonball will hit. Will miss. Excuse me. Flick forward though, and that's going to put him right back. Tries to turn around the lance along, not going to be enough, and he will fall. So ends up being a 3 for 2, I think, in favor of the Legion. They also take a mid tower. Shit just goes down. Rhapsody dropping the dance floor off of her regen room. Over here, Panda looking for something, but CiC using the Deceive to get away. And he's just going to run right back into Rhapsody here. Staccatos are obviously up, will be dropped there. Kraken and Bubbles are both here though, and they need to be real careful about how they do this. Rhapsody going to get chased down by Kraken and Keeper of the Forest. Gets immobilized there, is locked in a lot of trouble. She should fall here. Easy kill. And it looks like, oh, Bubbles might want to be careful about this. Mickey and Keizu just cannonballing in. We'll get the ultimate here on Keeper of the Forest. Obviously no ultimate for him. Joust forward from Bensington can kind of falls on that Nymphora very, very easily. Mickey and the Devourer feel like, yeah, that was a bad idea. Now trying to get out of there, does not. They will manage to get the Chronic kill onto Kraken, but that's not going to prevent too much. Bubbles also falls here. Joust forward, and Flensmeister's in trouble. He's going to fall. Kane's the last one alive, and he's going to get chased down here by 3 heroes. Question is, do they have enough to actually take him out here? Joust is still available from, or Mana is still available from Bensington. Joust, in a second, he will actually get the hit down here, but will there be enough follow-up? As he's going to try to turn this on the Keeper of the Forest, a couple more auto attacks and he could actually die. And, oh god, needs the veil, not going to happen. Corian from Nymphora, and Rhapsody's here as well. Staccatos and the Zeal on top of that. Bensington trying to joust away, but it's not going to be enough. Last auto attack will actually kill him, and Zlap gets the last hit, so that was looking really, really good for the Hellborn side as they came up with 4 hero kills and then just decided, let's chase Keizu forever, even though we only have 1 CC tool and Keeper of the Forest is nearly dead. End up getting massively turned around on and pretty much everybody dies. So what could have been a pretty solidly one team fight here for the Hellborn side is definitely not, as it was relatively even if anything. Legion being overly aggressive, but they can sort of afford to do that. They're already pretty far ahead, and if their aggression pays off, they get even more their head. Actually, off to the side here, Bubbles getting the Shell Surf down, and will be able to port to it despite the stuns. Actually, Nightfall here onto Nymphora, has the haste room, but that's not going to help with the Kelfield down here. Kind of been trying to live here, probably not going to happen as she drops to Frozen Flame on that CiC. Keep the Forest chasing down Rhapsody a little bit here, but Zlap with the Striders will be able to get the hell on out of there. So, solid kill there on Kaiman on that Nymphora. Obviously, the haste room not very effective if you get Kelp-filled. But at this point, it's pretty clear that the Legion side are just like they're pretty much screwing with it. It's 19 to 12 hero kills, so we are past the 15-minute mark, so the CC vote is available. Hellborn don't really have to, though. I mean, they're not particularly good right now. They're not looking really good, but they're not totally out of it. 7.5k gold, 3k experience, especially considering, you know, this is probably the number 2 team in Han. Actually, Nymphora Port comes here up top, will draw another TP from the Hellborn side that should be cancelled. It is not. Keeper of the Forest getting away with something there. Red Ward gets dropped here by Nymphora. And so they will see Keeper of the Forest walking right down. Mid lane Devourer continuing to just farm. But it has 3 heroes converging on him. Kraken does have a portal key, so the initiation potential is very good for them. Will not actually jump on top of him, though, as they're probably afraid, considering that a few of these heroes are not visible on the map, so they don't know what the backup is like for Mikke. They do have a word of sight here, but you know, they could still be in the trees somewhere. And that will actually expire now, so a bit difficult. Rhapsody up top, perhaps in some trouble. Kraken making his way over, obviously, as the portal key has to release Kraken, so if he wants to drop a bunch of stuff onto Rhapsody here, she would be in a lot of trouble. Will actually portal key into the woods, but Zlapt cleverly hiding in the forest. And should be okay now, as Kraken has shown himself in the top lane. Middle Drunken Master is just mostly him, and Keeper of the Forest. And CiC. Mobilize there from CiC, not going to hit. We'll run past a Word of Rev here from the Hellborn side, but their own Word of Sight in the Hellborn jungle. And I'm going to run right into Kraken here, will portal key away from the stagger. Zlapt continuing to farm up here on top, 235 gold per minute, so a pretty overfarm support here as Flens has maintained a 500 GPM pace, KZU just above 400, and Mikke at 330, so all of the 3 primary farmers here on the Legion side farming pretty well. Kraken's not doing too bad, 314 gold per minute, but nothing spectacular. The rest of the Hellborn side is a little bit underfarmed here, as their second highest farmer is Bubbles at 244 gold per minute. So we have a bit of a lull here. Actually, Drunken Master has picked up an Insanitarius, which is a bit interesting. Certainly a greedy pickup. Could go very wrong for them if things don't work out well. Nullstone is on Pandemonium, of course. And Devourer here, perhaps looking for the portal key. Has 2,000 gold, 2,100 saved up, so a couple of more CS and he'll have the PK. His bottom lane. Meanwhile, jumping here on Kraken. The tower goes down. The Nightfall gonna be in the background. Keep the Forest and Kelpil. It also goes out. Releasing Kraken is here on top of KZU. Slap's gonna get taken over by CiC, but actually she dies before she can finish. Kindman also falls in Nymphora in the meantime, so both supports get picked up here. Drunken Master trying to run away. Is extremely low, keeps toggling the Insanitarius, trying to live, has the Ghost Marchers, will be able to get the hell on out of there, and starting to chug up that bottle, and he should be alright here at this point. Over to the side here, Pandemonium is like, YOLO. Let's kill some creeps, buddy. Bubbles here is getting deep. Top lane, Hellborn side will start to push this in, so they did get a couple of free hero kills there. They did lose the tower, but pretty solid engagement there. It's unfortunate they could only kill supports, but actually, meanwhile, somehow KZU got picked up. I would like to see that in its entirety. I'm assuming Kelpfield? Oh, that's why. Oh, that's unfortunate. Toggled the Insanitarius at exactly the wrong time, gets sniped out with a Shell Surf. Panda will clean up the creeps here as this stops the counter push. Benson's going to joust away and he'll be okay. Keeper of the Forest has a veil off at the side, so he should be fine as well. Panda getting real aggressive here, realizing that's a fake. Nice hook there by Mikke onto Bensington. Joust away not nearly far enough, and he's now going to get caught by the flick, and that's going to be an easy kill, so will be turned on here. Obviously, fake Bensington can get killed by the creeps relatively easily, and the Legion side now able to push this up, so no surprise Devourer did go for that portal key. Hellborn Kraken also has his PK, sitting on 1,200 gold right now, perhaps looking for a Soul's Bulwark. That's the typical next item. Bubbles has gone for the push, but clearly feeling like the portal key is too far off at this point. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're going to see jump here onto Keeper of the Forest. There's a Rev Ward down, there's Cannonball on top of it, flurries forward, and he's in a lot of trouble. Ultimate there onto Bubbles, and that's not going to be stopped, so he will also go down. CiC here out of mana, unable to use the Deceive here. Kraken going to come in though and charge the release with the release Kraken on top. Nice hook out there by Mickey and the beautiful ultimate will save Flensmeister so hard. Stop there with a keep the forest route, and Zlap could be in some trouble here. Flensmeister still able to get off the side, actually. In the meantime, it was Benzington that drops, and so does Keeper of the Forest, so that gets turned on so fast as Nymphora comes in here with the port, bringing Mickey. I believe he brought Mickey and somebody else with her. No. Mickey and Kay, or probably just Keizu, actually. Kraken here still has Nation's Veil on him, but he can't stay here forever. We'll try to port out, and actually that's going to be stopped, so they know he's here. Just goes off as well, and he's going to get eaten up by Devour. That's going to be an easy kill as well, so fantastic play there from the Legion side. An amazing hook onto Flensmeister, saving him, plus a Rhapsody ultimate, stopping all sorts of damage. And there's going to be a jump here onto CiC, despite the illusions going off. They know exactly which one's real, and that will be an easy kill onto her. With the Rev Ward being placed within tower range, but they don't care as long as it gets the kill. And now they can kill this tower. Kelfield actually goes on to 4 here, and Kraken to charge in will get the nice easy kill onto Nymphora, but now he's going to pay for that with a couple more auto attacks being his death, and Keizu's trying to get the last hit there, not quite successful. Benzington here going to kill a Rev Ward, and that's going to stop all the invis detection. Flesmeister going to get charged at by Benzington with the Joust, and he's trying to get away. Avoids a Shell Surf here. Does hit Mickey, but Flensmeister's clearly the target, and he's trying to get out of here. Oh my god, Mickey. Oh my god, Mickey. Alright, I have to watch that again. Alright, let's watch Mickey here. Let's watch it. Let's watch how amazing this is. He's gonna hook, and then Portal Key. Oh my god. That's just godly. Too good. Flensmeister can be saved by Mickey Hook once again. Slapped here in the woods. Will be able to get away. So the entire Legion team manages to get off pretty much scot-free. Kindman on that Nymphora did die in the base, but not that big a deal. Especially because he died before they started leaving. Mickey Devo, man. Mickey Devo. Too good. I mean, he might legitimately be a better Devo player than KG. KG has long been considered the gold standard for hook heroes, but I have seen way too many amazing plays from Mickey on that Devourer to easily be able to call that anymore. Benzington Illusion can be killed here, as it does fool Keizu. Silly Keizu. Just ridiculous. So bad. It's like, it's not a real hero, Keizu. It's not a real one. It's fake. Haha, you're dumb. Jeez. So bad. No wonder he loses everything. Anyway. Conquer being attempted here by the Legion side. Should be a relatively easy kill. Nothing Hellborn can do about this, essentially. They do have a bunch of ultimates, and they're actually pretty much all up, so if they wanted to go after it, they might be able to. Invis double damage Devourer here. So they'll know if something goes down. CiC here going to get spotted. Shellsurf actually will catch them. They drop a Word of Sight in the pit. That's going to be easily killed. Dust goes off, actually, up there. Again with the hooks from Devourer. Nullstone going to get popped here. Actually, CiC going to be stopped by the cannonball, and she will drop first. Kelfield goes on to 3, but that's probably not going to stop too much. Sealstone only hits the CiC illusion. Kraken trying to run away now. He's going to be the focus fire, though. The flick and the lunge back from Drunken Master will end up being his death. Port out here from Bubbles. Are they going to catch him? I don't think so, actually. Keeper drops through very defensively, but he's not going to be able to survive here in spite of that. And that's going to be a 3-0 hero kill fight for the Legion side once again, and they're going to go right back to doing Conquer. Should be a pretty easy token here. Obviously, Shrunken Head picked up on Flens. Hadn't mentioned that quite yet, but a fairly strong selection, as obviously you have the Keeper of the Forest, you had a Kelpfield from Bubbles, and you've got Release the Kraken plus Kraken's Charge and his Torrent, so strong item here from Flens. Very, very defensive so far with the Nullstone and the Shrunken Head, but it's going to be really hard to lock him down, and that's clearly what he's going for. Upward side Kraken is going for the Bulwark, but it only has 1 ring mail at this point. Nothing else of note picked up, and they don't look particularly close to anything either. Not a huge surprise. Like to see DM probably go for the Soul's Bulwark himself, get some anti-armor, especially considering they've got really heavy physical damage between him and Pandemonium. There's the Bulwark. I say you do. Probably looking for an Ash Lib on somebody. Actually jump here onto a bunch of fakes, and they will all die, but who cares, they're fakes. Slap dropping a ward in the base, so they will be able to see what the Hellborn are up to at this point. Word of Rev somehow not in range of that Word of Sight. It's pretty interesting. I would think that'd be in range, but apparently not. Mickey off to the side looking for a hook, and Kraken's sort of poking in and out like he could be jumped. Word of Rev actually will counter this Word of Sight. Cannonball there only hits Kraken, and Panda will back off. Zeal does not connect to anybody. They're going to try to finish off this mid tower, and will do so fairly easily. Torrent goes down on the Pandemonium there, but he doesn't care too much. Immobilize from CiC not going to hit. Drops a Word of Rev here. Benzington coming in, but the CiC taking over Pandemonium. He will turn into that. Props a Shrunken Head. Not going to be able to do too much, though. Charge back here on an Amphora. He's in some trouble. Pandemonium from CiC actually gets hooked out with the portal key once again. Release the Kraken gets dropped onto Flensmeister. That's the real Panda. He's going to be in some trouble. He has Shrunken Head up, so Kind Man over here on the Amphora. Going to be able to get away, but gets there up on the Nightfall. Will fall. In the meantime, actually does not die. Joust will finish him off, and there's a GG well plays. In the meantime, Keeper the Forest and CiC both fall. And this is going to be a mid-rack, so ends up being the game there. And very well played to SynC. But not a huge surprise that they won this game. Actually, Hellborn sticking in it for quite a long time, and they played fairly well themselves, so certainly nothing to be ashamed of here as they lose the game to one of Han's better teams. And goddamn Mickey on those hooks. Amazing. Anyway, SynC will move on here to the round of 16, and that'll do it for this match.